Hey everybody, it's Linda Light. We're about to gather for our 7th council meeting of the Holy Bird Tribe. And we have a special guest with us tonight who has the same vision, basically, as the rest of the tribe does. And we also have Terri Wallace returning for a very special visit as well. And I can't wait till you guys hear. We're actually going to go through a little check-in first, so you get to see how everybody's dealing with these energies, these crazy, shifting, flipping, timeline collapsing, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to say shifting energies and trying to stay balanced in the middle. So you get to see how everybody is doing with that, and also what types of projects that we've got on our front burner, what we're currently working on, because the Holy Bird Tribe is going to take about a 3-week break. So we're going to wait till after Thanksgiving before we do another show like this, where we convene in our council and we, update each other on what projects and how they're moving forward. So I don't know if I mentioned this in the discussion that we just had that you're about to see, but we do have message boards that we're getting started. So if you feel called to get in touch for any reason, like, I'm going to provide a link down in the description box for the message boards. So if you want to reach out, or you feel like that you want to help other people and you want to kind of monitor the boards or do what you want, make it your own. It's going to be a neat place for people to convene and get in touch with each other. And let's just see how it goes, because we'll see how it goes. And first thing I would like to do is reintroduce Terri back. You were here last meeting we had. Thank you for coming back to join us.
Thank you.
And I'm really glad you made it. So if anybody wants to know more about Terri, she's an animal communicator, and you can go back and look at our last council meeting if you want to see everything that she's got going on. But she fits right in with our tribe here, and I'm just so honored that you wanted to come back and work with us. Thank you so much. And Melanie, you really caught my eye. You had an incredible post, and I just want to give you a chance to introduce yourself to everybody, because your vision fits in with everything that we've been doing and talking about creating. So if you wouldn't mind, give us a little introduction about what you're doing and who you are and how you found us.
Well, I've been watching your videos for at least a little over a year now. The first one was the post-RV proposal, and everything that you had said in that matched this vision that I had back in 2018, but I just was overcome with fear and just didn't really know how to get my message out there. And until I put that post up, I just hadn't been able to really speak up. But I just felt, I think I was high vibing the other night, and I felt moved to, first of all, join y'all's Facebook group, because one of the first things that came to me as I started my awakening was the Holy Bird Tribe and like the Sisterhood of the Rose and other little groups like that I had never heard of before. And then, so my awakening started like 3 years ago, and it's like I just got this download of information for like 14 straight hours. And it was all this information that I had never heard of before. I never read it. I had never been exposed to it. And then I recorded part of it. And then when I went back and listened to the recording later, it matched this video that I had played that was all the spiritual laws that I'd never heard that there was even such a thing as a spiritual law. But I was saying all of them when I was getting that download of information. So it was like I knew that it had to be real, and it was literally straight from source, because there's no other explanation for it, which is how I have to be shown stuff in order for me to not be able to deny it or to doubt it, right? Well, then in September 11th of 2018, I had a similar experience, not quite as long, but it was like I was meditating, and I kind of went into the void in a sense. It was like I was literally in space, and it was showing me all of these things like through visions, and like just like connecting dots in a way that couldn't be denied. And it was confirming things that I had kind of thought about myself my whole life, because I have Rh negative blood, so they couldn't explain that. So I always told my kids and my family I'm either an alien or an angel. And then it turns out now there's all this new information, and that kind of both true. And that, so that's what it showed me. It was like I was an alien and an angel, and it kind of showed me like I had the DNA blueprint of a lion, like inside my DNA. It's kind of how I had like interpreted it. Then come to find out, I ran across this other person's post, and it showed that they had been shown they were an alien and a line from ancient Lemuria. So that resonated with me. And it was like every single thing that seemed just so crazy got confirmed gradually over time. But the main like vision that it showed me that I needed to hopefully do with another group of people was save my family, save my son, because he's been sick for 4 years, and save my family's farm. And so it was like, I feel as though once I complete my healing and like my heart chakra opens all the way back up, somehow that's going to help me be able to save him and help him heal, because it'll show that this is like real, that we can do it on our own. He's not quite there yet, but that's what I'm working towards. But then the other part of it is me and my kids currently live in my grandparents' house, and it's got like 77 acres behind it. So I was shown to like save the farm, which means to me like get it like in my name, or be able to get a group to buy it to where we'd have the access to do what we wanted to do with it. And we already have a garden of all organic stuff on the farm. So I want to make it like a self-sustainable community where everyone that can come, families or individuals, anyone that's awakening and like needs guidance, or people that are just on this path that want to come and just live here, or just come and just participate, build little yurts or whatever, just out in the pasture. There's like a main pasture that's cleared out. So I picture like rows of yurts, and then each one would have something different in it, like healing modalities, sound therapy, a bubble room, because you can't be upset with bubbles all around you, you know, like arts and crafts, Reiki, just anything and everything, to where people can come. And it's like with other like-minded individuals, we can help like deprogram them out of the belief systems that we get just by default, you know, kind of like remove those viruses and deprogram, and then help them find the things to replace it with. And then what else is out there, to find their passions, where we can all just live our passions and be do an equal energy exchange, because like, everyone could be teachers, everyone could also learn, just depending on what people are good at. You could rent the yurt or do the yurt at certain times, and just, I don't know, that's just how I envision it. And then I felt also like if we have enough like-minded people out there, then I call it the Five Oaks Farm Quantum Field of Dreams. So we would literally could have a group and just put that energy, because if you don't have the doubt and you have that 100% belief and faith and trust, and there's no doubt, I feel like we could accomplish anything, really.
Yeah, and you're in Texas, right?
Yes.
How old is your son?
He's 24.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely keep him in our prayers. As a matter of fact, there's another council member named Angel who wanted to start a prayer wall or some kind of message board so that she could help. And she's been offering her services for card readings for free, which is amazing. You know, I used to offer healings for free, but I was back in the late 90s. So like a lot of us want to move into this more quantum state of being and offering our services and help. So what we're doing, I looked into a free message board, and we're going to try to, you know, get that up and running. So I'll put the link for that down in the description box. And or we want to, if it's an active thing, I remember message boards used to be a big deal, but you know, we can have like recommendations for this or that, or, you know, different conversations. And I think it's a great place to use as a resource for tools, especially as the website starts to grow and more people are joining, because it seems like we're still growing, and there are a lot of like-minded people that have this vision. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, because that's something that's deep in the hearts of every single person on this council. And it's just such a beautiful thing when other people resonate and have the same dream. So,
well, yeah. You also mentioned in your post RV proposal that there are people out there that like, we're going to win the lottery or something. You said something about like lottery winners or something like that. And I'm telling you, I still think it might happen, because I have everything in my palms that says some kind of windfall of abundance is coming. So I'm just ready to share it and make something amazing with it.
Yeah, I think there's a group of people out there definitely that could win the lottery. I don't remember saying that. What I was probably talking about was prosperity packages.
Oh, you might have been. I could have interpreted it different.
Prosperity packages. That's okay, because there's so many different ways that this new abundance can reach us now. You know, we have the digital economy that we're all moving into, the smart contracts and cryptocurrency and digital formats, but you know, it's transparent, it's on the blockchain, so it can't be changed or edited. We're decentralizing the way we use economy. So I think that's pretty cool. But There's also things, you know, Jacera, Nacera, the Great Reset, the global currency reset, the GCR, the RV, the revaluation for every country's dollars. Like this has to happen. Whether it happens, whether Jacera was some story that was made up in some folklore, you know, whatever they're calling it now, whether that's on the side or not, there's still many ways that abundance is going to be reaching people, and we're going to be flipping it literally upside down so that the
Right.
money goes to the people, you know, and we share it and we create something like you were just talking about.
Right.
So thank you for sharing that. All right. Listen, guys, I really would like to do a check-in with everybody because we were all off for last week and it's the first time we took a break since we started. I'd like to just, you know, kick it off here tonight with just a quick check-in myself. I feel like the whole quantum shift has been happening like in my center, in my point. And I have been, you know, you swing back and forth with the pendulum. I feel like I've really been doing a good job being grounded in my center. But that doesn't mean I don't get pulled, you know, either way here and there. But it really feels like things have sped up. And I'm really starting to see clearly my field around me. I'm seeing the wind and the motion. I got to see through my phone an area where I have this crystal downstairs and it's pointed at my front door. And at night, I was going down, I was using my flashlight, but I accidentally hit the camera, right? And I was looking through it and I could see the energy, the way it was all grainy and going, and it was moving so much faster than I thought energy moves, the way I see it in my mind. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, caught that. I caught it. And I couldn't record it because it wasn't showing up there. But anyway, I just wanted to say, like, I'm really feeling this shift in energy that's coming in, and it's really fast. It's a lot faster than I really thought it would be. So I've been sleeping when I need to. I quit smoking over a week now, so woohoo, you know, good for me.
Yay.
But for the umpteenth time, but yay, right. Welcome, Desi. I'm glad you're here. Well, when we get to you, we're going to go around and do a quick check-in. And when we get to you, I'd like, if you don't mind, just give a quick little introduction about yourself and then give your check-in. All right. And she's joined. I know it's really late there in Spain, so thank you so much for joining us. Yay. All right. Melanie, I'm going to go to you next, and then we'll just go round robin. So how are you feeling and what's been going on for you?
I think I'm actually kind of like you said, for me anyway, I've been able to maintain the center better than I usually did, but there were a couple of days right around the full moon that it was coming in really intense for me, and my mom as well. So one day she was feeling it really bad, so I was kind of like kind of grounded for her and like helped her come back to her center. And then the next day it's like it hit me really hard. But used to, I would go like from one extreme to the other pretty regularly. But after those 2 days, I've been able to maintain the center. So I'm feeling pretty proud of myself.
That's great. All right. Very good. Connie, how about you? How have you been feeling?
I've been feeling really well, to tell you the truth. As most of you know by now, I belong to a local arboretum, Tyler, down the street, and it's 1.5 miles from my house. And I don't even have to like show them my card anymore. They're like, oh yeah, you go ahead. I'm there all the time. So that's how I've been getting through, just spending a lot of time hanging with the trees, being in nature, and really connecting to the earth. I mean, getting messages from the birds. And it's like, I just stand there and just like, I'm a conduit. And it's just kind of like flowing in, flowing through me. And that keeps me centered. That keeps me grounded. I am so grateful that I have that opportunity to get there at some point every single day. So that's gotten me through. I did not have a good night last night, did not sleep well. I'm not sure. I am sure. I was tapping into the collective, and it was really difficult for me to remove some of the fear, the angst, the hatred. I don't want to label things, but I felt like all of it last night. And I just kind of like went from one side to the other side trying to sleep. And normally I can sleep through anything, but I think it was a culmination of a really challenging week for a lot of people. And so I'm getting through it. That's why I said an hour tonight, and then I'm going to be off to bed early. But it's been a process, but really good one. A really, really good one.
Oh, glad to hear it, Connie. And yeah, it has been, the collective has been, it's almost like if it's split in half, which we know we're very dualistic and split in half, and then it's like everything like flipped, everything switched. Somehow it's like, what happened here? So,
Yeah.
anyway, all right, thank you for that. Jerome, how about you? How have you been feeling? What's been going on?
I'm feeling pretty good. I kind of been saying in my last couple of videos I've been posting out about kind of like tuning more into myself, tuning into my feelings, a lot of the empathic abilities that many empaths tend to like drown out or block out because we're actually feeling a lot of other people's stuff. So I kind of came into a greater understanding of actually like feeling into the deeper parts or aspects of myself, and it's been an interesting ride, and then all this stuff going on now with the collective, and so then that you could feel the anxiety, the frustration, the disappointment, the fear, the anger, all the different emotions coming up. And as you were saying, it could tend to feel like a swing, like a back and forth kind of thing, or a left and right, but then it came into it. I actually had to. I think it was yesterday. I had to. It brought me into like a needing to like zoom out of all of it and kind of see it from see it from the bigger picture, and realize, like all of it is in itself still a part of the mind of the cosmos, and connected into our own transformation, both on an individual scale and then as a collective. But it always starts from within ourselves first, based on our perception. So yeah, that's what I've been going through the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's great. That's absolutely true. What's going on within yourself is reflected on the outside, but we trying to go with the flow and staying centered is definitely a challenge we're all facing, and actually definitely being bopped on the head by spirit sometimes to remind us that stay in the middle. It's okay. I actually have a video I'm trying to upload right now. It's been uploading for about 6 hours. It's only like 12 minutes, I think. And now it's like 11 minutes, I think. And it just says waiting. Like it's just held up. It's just frozen. Not the right time. It's okay. Terri, how have you been feeling? What have you been going through?
Oh, definitely the swing. It's almost like minute by minute, it changes so fast. I've been working on a lot of personal healing, physically, emotionally, and that's just as much of a swing. It goes back and forth. I feel like I'm staying pretty centered though, even though I'm going through a lot of physical pain, a lot of emotional stuff. I feel pretty good about it. A lot of dreams that are very, very vivid, with people that have passed and those that have not. And, it's kind of interesting. The animals are having a hard time with this energy, just like we are. And, like my kids have been on guard and very protective for a long time, it seems like. But I feel like it's getting ready to do a quick shift. And it's going to happen faster than any of us think. Yeah. So that's good. That's good.
I actually agree with you on that too. I think it is going to be a little faster than we think. So interesting. And when you said very interesting, that's my mantra. I say that when I try to stay detached from the outcome, my mantra is, very interesting. That way I'm not pulled either way.
Right.
Great. All right, Sherry, how are you doing? How have you been feeling, sweetheart?
Good. I'm feeling pretty grounded as far as everything going on, but a ton of messages coming in, and about the end of this year moving into 2021. So that's kind of interesting. Also just a lot of personal healing that's going on, but I'm able to surf it really well. But I know for myself personally, I'm coming to the end of a 10-year cycle, and this is a big cycle. So there are a lot of big things, that lifetime things, and and you talked about Lemuria. I have a lot of lifetimes there, and they've been coming very, very, very deep stuff that I've been working through, and a lot of milestones that have been checked off in the past few weeks, which is great. And my guy and I are getting ready to move up north. I'm in California, so we're getting ready to move up north and build a tiny house, and and live on land and live in community a little bit. So I'm really excited about that. So there's just all these things coming in at one time, plus the financial stuff and these new platforms. And so a lot of education, like re-education for myself, that just feels so good, because it feels like it's this new quantum system. So to me, that just feels so refreshing and new and exciting, and just such a relief. It's like, finally, finally it's here.
Something that's transparent and real, and there's no middlemen, and finally the real economy before we can shift into the no economy or energy exchange only. You know what I mean? We need a stepping stone that's pure and good. So
exactly. And for me, it's I have a lot of blocks around money. It's all tied into these last few things in Lemuria and my mom, and all kinds of very deep, deep things that I'm working through right now, but it's all tied in. So it's like, once they free up, it's all going to be good. So I'm just doing a lot of work. Just like Terri said, I'm doing a lot of personal work, but I feel really good about it. It's not stressful. I just feel like I'm handling it. And we're moving on. Yeah.
That's where you want to be. I really think is you want to be in a place where you're doing a lot of work, but it's not stressful, because you're doing what you love. You're doing
just
your life mission,
totally. It's fun. I'm just having a blast, honestly. Like,
good.
I'm so blessed that I get to do what I'm doing right now. That's how I feel about it. Yeah.
Yes, I hear you. I know it's an honor, isn't it? It's
completely.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Sherry. Sarah, look at those hot pink headphones. I love it.
Thank you.
Good to see you. How have you been feeling?
I'm actually feeling pretty good. I've had a couple rocky moments, but I just listened to self and rested when rest needed to be rested. I drank as much water as I could. I just kind of recognized the signs. There was a couple days where it hit me hard, and I just had to sleep it off. I mean, I felt like I was getting a migraine.
Yeah.
And it was one of those, I had to, do I want to take a Tylenol? Do I want to take an ibuprofen? Nah, I shook it off this time.
There you
I
go.
said, I'm just gonna lay it down, and it'll be a new day tomorrow, and we'll go from there. And I've been trying to work with the energies, ritual here and there, and just spending that extra time and try to manifest the abundance, because that's what the cycle's all about. So, reaping that last harvest of the season, and I don't know, just educating. I'm always trying to learn something. And so I've been drawn into a lot of different, not modalities, just other things. I'm trying not to box myself into one thing. So I appreciate going back and looking at different people's work, and then realizing that it all centers into one. So it's been cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, a couple of you mentioned that tonight about the education piece, and that really it's very important, because a lot of times you're learning things, but what we're learning, it feels more like we're remembering. So it doesn't really feel like you're learning something new, even though we're learning something new in this body, right? A lot of the knowledge that goes with that, or the wisdom that goes with that, seems to be popping out of, different aspects of ourselves that say, not, you knew that already, now take it to another level, Isn't that cool? So, all right, very good. Maybe that sounds ignorant too. I don't know. Maybe you are learning new things, but it just, to me, it feels more like of a remembrance. Like, we've done this before, so what's the big deal? But anyway.
Well, it's funny how the universe will start throwing stuff back in, and so it all kind of fits together like a puzzle. Yeah. And so I'll get a little piece here, a little piece there, and then I'll realize that they fit together in a lot less words, but they all do. So it's cool.
Yeah, and the picture starts becoming more apparent. The more pieces that fit together, you start to see the bigger picture more clearly. That's great. Oh, thanks, Sarah. That's great. Desi, we haven't checked in with you yet. So first, welcome to the Holy Bird Tribe Council meeting. I know you've been in a process of moving from the UK down to Spain. You're now in Spain. Yay. And thank you for joining us. We are so glad and so honored to have you here with us tonight. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And can I just say that the energy is so high. It's so nice to be part of this group. Like, it's just like zzz.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad. I was gonna surprise you guys a little something at the end too, and kind of take it up another notch. But tell everybody who's watching this, who's seeing you on here for the first time and everything. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you're doing over on YouTube. I'm going to put your links in our description box as well with everybody else's, and to give us a quick little check-in on how you're doing as well.
So well, I host a podcast called Bridging the Realm on YouTube, where I interview people who work in the field, work in the industry, shamans, energy healers, you name it, I've interviewed them. So I've been exploring this field for the last 6 years, more or less. My previous background is in documentary, so at this moment I'm kind of trying to combine my documentary with my spiritual work, so trying to combine them in a weird way, which seems to be working right now. So
Bridging the realm.
Bridging the realm. But yeah, apart from that, I've been good. I think I've just been going through a lot of changes recently. Obviously, I've relocated to a new country, and it's just been quite crazy. But funnily enough, it feels really right. It feels like I'm kind of been just going with the flow. I've been following a lot of signs, like universal signs that have been kind of pointing me in this direction. So I kind of just, I thought I'll just follow it and see where it takes me. And so far it's been amazing. I definitely feel like I've shifted a lot of stuff since coming here. And everything just feels like it's aligning. And I'm definitely feeling the energy is just kind of really high right now. And personally myself, I'm feeling like I'm kind of like what you mentioned before. I feel like I'm kind of starting to see the bigger picture now and how everything seems to connect. It's like this, just like all of a sudden something's just switched on, and now I can see how this connects to that and that connects to that, and it's like zzz. So it's crazy, but it's really nice.
That's exciting. So how have you been feeling since you moved? Not that long now. You said everything's kind of coming together, so I'm guessing that you're feeling feeling good, feeling high rise, like everything's clearing, or like doing a lot of purging. Or I guess since you moved, you probably did do some purging too, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, everything's coming together really nice. I feel like I'm really finding my people, my tribe. I'm like connecting with a lot of people who are kind of into the same things as me, which is amazing, because I was kind of missing that in London a little bit. And it's been really nice. And things have definitely been coming up, old traumas and experiences that are kind of seem to be coming up in my face, but not in such a negative way. I feel like now I know what to do. So now I'm like, okay. It's like, get them out of the way. So
great. That's great. It's a good feeling when you feel like the training wheels came off and now you have that confidence now, like I know what I'm doing. I got this. We were talking about this the other day, like, should I go down that hill? Maybe I'll go down the hill without the wheels. We'll see. So I know a lot of us are busy and working on a lot of projects. Like me, I'm working on my second book, and I'm working on, I go in the fall and the winter, I go into like writing mode and everything. So I've been doing a lot of that, and I'm really trying to put things together for the Holy Bird Tribe, but also tying that in with just pieces of how I'm going to manifest what I need to manifest so that I can, build on this vision and this project that I have. So like, how can I save enough money to, buy my RV so I can start traveling around and implement, you know what I mean? Like, I'm really working on the whole healing my money wounds and healing things that I've had conditions. So I'm doing a lot of healing work personally, and I'm working on the Holy Bird Tribe, and I'm working on writing. So I have 3 burners in the front, not just 2. Actually, there's probably a lot more than that, but right now I'm going to go around and ask you guys real quick, what's on your front burner right now in your life? What projects or dreams are you working on? And Melanie, I'll start with you.
Well, first of all, I want to say how awesome it is to hear all of y'all through that check-in, because I don't really have anyone in my life that I can talk to very often to check in that I'm on the right, I'm where I need to be, I guess. So it really just helped me a lot right now to hear everyone say what y'all just shared, because it helped me see I'm not as far back as, or I'll just feel like I get stuck or something. And then anyway, I love y'all. Y'all are amazing. You just really made me feel so much better about myself. But so my front burners, I guess the main thing that is always on my front burner is my son, because I know that we can heal him just with the power of the belief and just doing it with, he can do it himself if I can get him to the belief part of it. So that's my always in my mind, always. Everything I hear or run across, if I feel like that's something that might help him, that's literally always on my mind. But in addition to that, I want to start a YouTube channel. That's something that I've been wanting to do for like 2 years, but I kept talking myself out of it or making excuses. And I think I'm finally to the point where I'm actually going to be able to do that. And I got a camera, so I'm about to do that. So that's, with that though, I feel like kind of like what y'all were talking about, how you can see like from the higher perspective. It's like I can see the blueprint of my life and why I chose certain experiences from pretty much birth up. I chose a lot of different traumas that are the main traumas that people go through, like abandonment and domestic violence. Some really difficult ones. I'm not going to name them all right now, and it's like I was on one side of it as a child, and then I experienced the opposite side of it as an adult. And then I also saw like my kids kind of go through some of that stuff. And I feel like we all went through it together as a soul tribe of our own, because I feel like they've all been with me since Lemuria, probably. Like, we're all ancient souls. And I think I didn't do that for nothing. And that's the thing that keeps resonating in my head, is like, I can't have gone through all of that for nothing. And if I don't ever speak up and start to share my story and put myself out there to help other people deal with those traumas, then it will have been for nothing. And so that's what I keep playing to where I'm going to start my channel, because I feel like I'll be able to help a lot of families on either side of any trauma heal through that faster than what I was able to do for my family. So
that's amazing. Melanie, you're calling out to me again. So I'm going to talk to you privately. So maybe you'll consider doing an interview or something like that. And then when you start your channel, if you want to put that on your channel, you can just download it from mine or something. We can talk about this if you want a little help. Sometimes to talk to somebody, you know, instead of just saying it yourself, because I know how hard it is to do that for video. So let's talk later about that. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, Connie, what you got going on your front burner?
Well, weirdly enough, and it might not be weird to this group, that everything's the front burner. It's so interesting that I thought, oh, I'll do, like years ago, I'll do that later, whatever. Now it's everything. Sarah, when you said, you know, it's everything's out there. There's no separation. You don't have to go back to this time. It's incredible how everything is right there in front of me. And trying new things. Sarah, I resonate with something everyone said. So thank you all for being a part of this group. And for me, just to experience this, have dialogues with Sherry, because Sherry and I, we really do connect quite often. And we're going to do a project about food, not only food to grow, sustainability, food as healing, gardening, and putting that together. So we're going to do a series about food, and I'm really excited. So if I have to have the burners, then I guess that's one of them. The art has been flowing in for me. I've been painting just about every day, and it's flowing. And I had some really cool experiences with going to the place where I painted like I painted a tree recently, and it was on Orcas Island up in the Pacific Northwest. And I went to Orcas Island and I don't remember painting. And within a very short time, there it was.
Oh, wow.
And connecting with Lumeria, Syria, Palladium. I think all of us are star seeds from all of these star nations, and it's hard for me to separate them, and I feel a part of each and every one. So that's kind of on the front burner. You know, something Egyptian comes across my path, and I'm like, oh wait, hold on, and I'm doing some Egyptian sound healing, or
Right.
I don't have enough time in the day to fit it all in. So it's incredibly exciting time for me because there's just so much going on. But it's the art, it's the project with Sherry is a big one for me, the food and growing food. And even if you have a pot this big, grow something. I don't care where you are, grow something. And that's part of the message that we're going to share. And I'm excited about it.
That's great. That is exciting. I can't wait to see that series. You two are going to be awesome together. And that's funny. I just bought some rosemary. It yelled at me in the grocery store the other day. It literally, I looked at it and I was going, I don't know about you. It was all by itself. And I literally went over to it and I was like, I almost put it back because I smelled it first. I was like, I don't really use rosemary that much. And then it was just like, please.
Oh, it actually winters pretty good here.
Okay. I brought it home and I just planted it in the same pot. I have a really big pot with basil that I brought in from outside. I just planted it. So I'm glad you said that. Plant something.
Yes. Wonderful. Yay.
That's awesome. All right. Thank you, Connie. And you're absolutely right. There's always something going on. It depends on what day it is really as to what's front burner, right? Which day is it? Jerome, you're up. What have you got going on? What's on your front burner?
All right. So it's interesting that Connie mentioned the whole aspect about planting stuff. I've actually been, what is last week? Yeah, I actually was in a course, a no-dig course in gardening. So you're not really like digging anything. You basically like using like compost and certain other material that would break down into soil. So I'm getting involved in that a bit to increase the amount of stuff that I'm growing around the house. Also, one of the other projects I'm doing is kind of like, I would say kind of like revamping certain aspects of like some of the energy work that I do as well. As it connected into my own growth. So as I grow, my work also changes as well too. And how I apply energy work and stuff like that. So I've been working on that as well. Kind of taking care of my nephew now a bit, so learning a little bit on how we call it, parenting. Hey, I respect all your parents. Yes. Yeah.
How old is he?
He just turned 7.
Oh boy.
So you can teach him how to plant and grow things too, right? You can bring him right along.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's great.
Yeah. So he reminds me a lot about myself too. So yeah, it's helping me a lot as well.
Jerome, are you doing anything for your YouTube channel with the planting? Like, are you going to document your projects?
Oh.
Or is that
I have. I mean, I could do that. Yeah. Yeah. When I started, actually, yeah, I could do a couple of videos on that. So yeah, actually, that was a great idea.
Awesome. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Now let's move along. That's going to be an awesome project. So whatever you're doing down there, we're coming down to Barbados. So when we go see everybody, we're going to visit everybody in the tribe. We're going to come down. We're going to want to see that.
Sure.
Terry, what have you got going on? What's on your front burner these days?
Primary is taking care of myself, going through the healing process. I've got a lot of things going on, been going on for a long time. So I'm putting that first. I feel like I need to complete that before I can take the next step. into the other projects. And it's requiring a lot of patience, a lot of flexibility, a lot of being fluid, that sort of thing. You know, I feel that when I complete that, I'm going to move pretty fast, just like the energy is moving fast. You know, I'm looking for property to where I can set up my own healing space, much like Melanie, but a little bit different. But I think there's going to be a lot of people combined with a lot of different things. A lot of us here talking about plants, growing things. You know, I'd like to incorporate food, like Connie and Sherry are doing, animals, people, help with trauma, healing the trauma stuff. So just keep on moving.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you know, a lot of what you have set up already for the projects you already have set up is like education for children, and has to do with food and energy and animals and all of that. So yeah, I think a lot of us are just going to be, you know, helping each other and then branching out from there, and you know, everything just feels like it's so good. All right, I think Angelfish is joining us. We're trying to get in. It looks like the internet connection's a little slow there. Sherry had to leave early. She just messaged me. She had she's taking care of some things on a personal level. So she was working on something with Connie, and Connie already mentioned that. So we're caught up on that. And Sarah, you were after Sherry. So what have you got going on your front burner?
Just right now, I'm just kind of working on myself, working on my girls. It's never ending. The healing process that, you know, you think you know, but you don't know. And so when you wake up and you realize I've been doing this wrong, I've got to go back and re-teach children by a lead of example. So I'm trying to change the way I do things. I'm trying to change the way I react to things. Of course, I have outside factors that continuously try to trigger. So it's working through those moments as well. And then, of course, just getting ready to make the moves. I know I got moves coming up. The abundance, you know, I almost want to say it's almost like an abundance matrix. I'm working through it. And so I know that the space that I'm in now, I've outgrown it. So it's a matter of looking, listening, and picking the next demographics, basically, in a sense. I want to make sure it's the right fit for my family and for me to be able to continue with what I want to work on. I want to be able to work in a creative space where I can continue doing my photography. I can continue doing my Reiki, have the space for my children to be self-expression, you know, and grow within themselves, and them have their own space. It almost feels like, you know, 10 years ago when I moved in the house that I'm in, it was perfect for 10 years ago.
Right.
But 10 years later, it's not anymore. We need bigger and better.
Yeah.
So I have to reprogram my mind around bigger and better. I don't have to stay in the mindset of 10 years ago, bigger
Right.
and better. So it's a process. It
That
really
is
is. I'm trying.
Working on yourself, like leading by example. That was a great point you made, because that's what we're teaching. And if you're not really willing to, if you're going to talk the talk, but you're not going to walk the walk, then what kind of teacher are you? So, and that's like what Terri was talking about, working on herself and making that a priority. Definitely. I love it. I love it.
The kids see it. I mean, I truly believe the kids, I mean, they have their moments, don't get me wrong. But once you stand in your truth, the kids will see it. I know we've got some new ones on the panel tonight, but I've had a lot of trauma. I've had a lot of things that have happened, and I have survived it. And now it's a matter of reprogramming my kids so they don't follow those same footsteps. They feel empowered. They're women, and the world can sometimes be really narcissistic, and they go for the impasse. They do.
Yep.
Because we are the ones that want to make everything better. We want to make people shine. We want to stroke egos. We think we can fix it. And sometimes we have to take ourselves out of that box and realize the only person that can fix it is the person in the box.
Yep.
It ain't us. It's not us. So.
No, you're right. Everybody's got to own their own stuff and take responsibility for their own actions and stop projecting it onto everybody else. I've been on this for a couple weeks now. I've been on the same theme. You're absolutely right. And they do notice we've been easy targets in the past because we are empaths. We care. It's there. So we have been easy targets in the past, but that's done. We're over that now. We've stepped into our empowerment. And like you said, your kids know when you speak your truth, when you stand in your truth, they see that. They feel.
You shine brighter. So yeah, they see it, but they can't reach you. They can't touch you.
Yeah.
So
right.
yeah, I agree.
Very good. Excellent share. I love it. Sarah, Desi, you're up next. What have you got on your, I know you've always got something going on. Busy people find the time to do many things. So what's going on for you?
So yeah, right now, apart from the podcast that I'm doing, I'm also working towards creating sort of like an online summit to do around the topic of life after death. It's been something I've been kind of researching for a long time, and I'm planning on doing a life after death summit on my channel at the end of November. So I'm going to get a lot of psychics, a lot of mediums who communicate with spirits, and basically get them all in one place because I think it's something that we really need to speak about. Yeah, so I'm organizing this at the moment, and I'm also working on a documentary series, online episodes about life after death. So it's kind of, yeah, to do with this.
Awesome. That's an incredible project.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, that's really jumping into the deep, isn't it? I love it. Yeah. All right. Well, you can definitely count on us, everyone in the Bird Tribe, for support. And I want you to post that in the Facebook group too, like to advertise that so people are aware when it's coming up. And if you're premiering it, we can all watch it live with you. So please keep that in mind.
Thank you. I will
post. Of course, absolutely. Wouldn't want to miss that. Remember Raymond Moody, Dr. Raymond Moody, and Damian Brinkley, and all those people that were interviewing the near-death experienced people. And I mean, that's been something that I've followed a long time. So I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Dina, yay, welcome. I'm glad you got to make it. Now, Dina, you guys, she's joining us from Kuwait. So it's like, what time is it now?
Right now it's it's 4.
Wow.
So I can't see the watch.
Oh, your dedication is amazing. Thank you. Wait, even from later or earlier, and I'm trying to get Desi, so it's like having people on the West Coast, and it's like, oh my God, what time would work best for everybody? But I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
Oh, glad to be here.
You're awesome. All right. So what's going on? How are you feeling? How have you been feeling the last couple of days since you missed our last round of questions, I think? And then what have you got on your front burner? What's cooking in your life?
That's just up and down like that, and just a huge timeline jump.
Yeah.
It's
been a shift.
Yeah, like a big one. And then there was just ups and downs, like and then suddenly I'm like, okay, why I'm doing this? Step out of it. Because you literally have to snap yourself out of it and remember what you came here for and why you're here. That's pretty much the past few weeks. Some of was heavy, some was light, some was like, oh, confusing. What's on my burner is just being a human being right now. And like just really like the stuff online, I'm not called to do anything online, to tell you the truth. As someone who's worked with TV and production and Sesame Street, I have tons of shit online as far as that goes. But I think for me, it's just being here for my for anyone, like whether it's spiritually or not, because you're just gonna be here for whoever it is. Like that's really I just being here for people and just doing work with children, which I already do in different countries. Just being here, really. That's all that I feel that right now. That's
Oh, that's
that's
great.
it.
And I was going to ask you a little bit more about the refugees that you've helped and everything. Is that mostly children that you're working with, or do you work with families like of all people of all ages, or do you mostly work with children that have been displaced, or?
Both. Now it's become both. It used to be children, and then that turned into their parents, because they also have, it's the parents who have the problems, not the kids, by the way.
Right,
the
right.
kids, they can play anywhere, in like throw them in shit, they'll play in it. I don't mean shit, you know what I mean, but like
I know what you mean.
it's the parents that you see the sadness, the depression. It's the grown-up stuff that hasn't hit the kids. So it's mostly the kids are fine. Well, I mean,
They adjust
so
easy.
to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Linda. But sorry, but it's some of them. Sometimes it's the parents, and it's really not how you say. The more human you are with them, the more they feel you. The more they like. I cannot talk spirit. Like for a lot of them, they're it's very religious. So they have their own way as far as that goes. So I'm not gonna be like, hey, listen, Metatron now is telling me, which Metatron would be in my ear, but you can't really talk to them like that. You have to go on their level. You have to be exactly, you really pretty much you have to go on whoever level it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not, and it's fine. I don't have to say anything. Sometimes you just need to sit down with them and do whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's more exactly, yeah. Pretty much just be with them. Yeah.
It's such selfless work that you're doing that everybody's, doing really. But thank you again for your dedication and your loyalty for coming in. It's such a weird
Absolutely.
time of night. The best advice you could give somebody right now who's in the midst of this pending, who's going to be the next president, what script is going to play out, how is that going to affect my life, and and they're going crazy. Like, what's the best advice that you can give someone now who's either just starting the awakening process or they've already been awake, but they're still caught in the throes? With Melanie, you're up first.
Okay, two things. For me, something that always just makes me instantly happy, because I love numbers. So if all hell's broken loose or just everyone around me is going crazy, I know I can just get in my car and go even just a block or two, and Spirit's going to show me some number immediately that's going to resonate with me, just that I needed to see, and it literally will make me laugh. It instantly makes my mood 1,000 times better. And it's like, sometimes maybe I'm being the jerk and Spirit has jokes, so sometimes it'll be that little reminder that is like, oh crap, wait a minute, maybe it was me. But it gets presented in a way that just, it's like a slap on the hand, but at the same time it makes you laugh, because you got to appreciate Spirit's sense of humor. So I can always count on my guides or the angels to just give me what I need to see in that moment. And then the other thing, something that really helped me kind of take a step back to see what I was kind of dealing with, I watched a video and it was talking about ascension traps, and it was talking about familiar and familial energies. And so what it helped me see, because I was kind of forming this understanding without having the words to it. So it was like, when I saw that video, in that moment, I had just had this big argument with my teenage daughter. And it was like, I had the thought like, man, this is the same energy, but it's in a different body. And it was like, I feel like I've been battling this same particular energy for my whole life. There's always been at least one person in my immediate vicinity, whether it be my mom, my kids, my spouse, or whatever, and they would all take on this same energy. And I kind of call it like a narcissistic energy. And so right at that moment when that had happened with her, I had that understanding. So it helped me kind of take a step back to where I didn't feed into what was going on. And it really worked out so awesome. And it helped show her, like, she didn't admit it at the time, but I saw that because of how I reacted differently, it helped her see her side of it, if that makes sense. Yep. And then that video just confirmed it. It was like, we get in these traps where the same energy follows us in order to kind of keep us from being able to make that next step or whatever. But just understanding what was at play, it helped me make that next step, if that makes sense.
No, it does. That's great. It was called Ascension Traps, you said?
Yeah, it was Ascension Traps, and it said familial or familiar energies.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
You're
All right, Connie, how about you? What advice do you have?
Well, I guess I'll sound like a broken record. Hug a tree, take a walk, take your shoes off and just stand on the earth. And for me, it's music. And I love Sanskrit mantras, and just plug it into the mantras, the repetition, the vibration of the mantras, transport me and take me where I need to be.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Sure.
Jerome, what advice would you give people needing it right now?
So, right now we're going through, as it would appear to be, like very turbulent times, even especially with people in the UK and stuff, on in Europe going back into lockdowns. I would say is very important now to and for us to like work on ourselves. Even in itself, like making peace with ourselves is very important, at least for me. I started doing some exploration into like meditation as well too, on a deeper level. I find that helps as well too, because it helps with the hemisync, so allowing you to stay centered, which helps with the zoomed out perspective or perception. I would definitely say as well too, to kind of like pay attention to like maybe even like aspects of maybe like nutrition as well too, because the energy that's coming in it is challenging the physical body. So a lot of people kind of going through a lot of the different like hormonal changes and stuff, which some would call ascension symptoms. So I find that helps. So yeah, and I would say what movies could recommend? The Matrix for sure, the Matrix trilogy.
Oh yeah.
Snowpiercer. There's a movie called The Giver. That's a really good one. Yeah. And you could check out my channel as well. I'm starting to post up some more videos on certain topics. We're gonna start that gardening thing a little. You know, I think maybe either the end of this month or next month. We can see.
I'm glad you're doing that. And this is Jerome's channel's Unified Energetics, and everybody's link's going to be in the description box. Melanie, if you have a website, or if you don't have your YouTube channel up and running yet, maybe what we'll do is we'll send, if you don't have anywhere else, if you want to be contacted by somebody or something, we can send them to the Holy Bird Tribe to find you in there. On Facebook, like the Facebook group maybe. But if you have something, then just message it to me. And let me see. Yeah, Jerome, I'm glad you brought up those topics, especially about food, especially since we have this theme running around, because diets are changing right now, and it's really important.
Right, yeah.
So, all right, Terri, you're up next. What advice do you have for people going through this crazy shift right now?
Okay, so the biggest thing for me is breathing. A lot of times I find that myself or people I know, they hold their breath, and so to remind myself to do, some breathing exercises or whatever. Just remember to breathe and exhale. Then I also ask if I'm in a space of love or fear, and both of them have many different words for the same meaning. And so if I'm in a place of fear, which is anger or frustration or along those lines, then I try to discern why I'm going through those feelings and what is it that I can do to return myself back to center, go back to the love space. Those are the biggest things for me. Also, like Connie said, standing outside, hug a tree. It's the biggest help ever. Grass, plants, biggest help.
Excellent.
So that's pretty much it.
Thank you. That's yeah, being in nature, so important. Important. All right, very good. Now let's see. Sherry's not here. Okay, Sarah, what advice do you have, sweetheart? What have you got for everybody?
I would say patience. Of course, with trying times, everyone is a little bit more irritable and they lack patience. So instead of being so quick to jump to conclusions, maybe just taking a second longer to listen. And, oh, excuse me. Let me move. Just being patient, resting, listening to your body. Be someone's pillow in the middle of a live video. What else? Love yourself. Sometimes we forget that. And you know what? In the very beginning, I wasn't very good at that, and so now I'm getting better.
Can you paint me like a dog?
Yeah, later.
Okay.
We've been doing face mask. She's bringing my childish wit out. We had jammies and makeup on last night, so we want to do a puppy dog face tonight. So
Fun.
we'll do that after class. But
That's fun.
no.
Well,
I agree with what everyone else is saying about getting outside and being in the elements, and it helps.
yeah. Yeah, it does. It brings your true connections back up. It's very, very, it's a personal experience. And it's a collective one too. All right. Very good. Now, Desi, we're going to ask you the same thing. Advice. What do you have for people going through this shit?
Yeah, so there's three things that I feel like have really helped me, especially recently. And the first one is to always remember that everything on the outside is just a reflection of you. And things really start to make sense when you start seeing it from that perspective, especially now with the energy rising and so many people's shadows coming out from everywhere. I think it's so important. There's just so much you can learn about yourself by seeing it from that perspective, at least for me. Second thing is always make sure that you're balancing the spiritual with the physical, and don't go too far in the spiritual because you just get unbalanced and things, that's not the point of us being here in the physical. So just always remember to continue to do the physical things, the normal daily stuff. And last thing is to trust yourself and the universe more than other people, because whoever's giving you advice, it's being filtered through all of their own beliefs, their own patterns, ancestral stuff, traumas. So always trust yourself and the universe more than other people. So.
Wow, that's great. All three of them, excellent points. Thank you, Desi. That was so well said. All right, Dina, you're up. What advice do you have for people going through what they're going through? You have to unmute too. You're muted.
Okay. Just go with it. Do exactly that. You came here to do that. The good, the bad, whatever it is. Just do it. Of course, go out in nature for sure. This is very important. Hugging trees is, oh my God, whoever hasn't done it yet, you guys are absolutely right. But yeah, sometimes you just have to go with the depression, go with the bullshit, all of it. You came here to do that. You came here. Everybody has that. And don't feel bad. It does clear up. But even that, be true to that as well. It's what we came here to do. I cannot tell myself, oh no, it's not, it's happening. Just go with it. You are doing a great job. You came here to do this, and just just do it.
Excellent. Thank you. That was great advice. You guys all gave excellent advice. The only thing that I would even add to that, because I wanted to wait and hear what everybody else said first, and I kept getting the same thing, which is reverberating in my life right now, which is detach from the outcomes. So don't be so emotionally attached. It doesn't mean don't visualize what type of outcome you'd like to see and, you know, express and create. You visualize that, but detach from the outcome, like let it go and let it be and trust yourself. But I love how everybody had something to say about nature or working on yourself and all of that. So there's really good advice in here for all my viewers. I want to do something real quick for everybody right before we go. I know people have a time schedule we got to try to keep to. So I just want to ask you real quick to take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then take another deep breath in through your nose. And this time, just let your shoulders relax. Let your stomach relax on your out breath. And on your third in breath, take in your in breath and breathe out anything that no longer serves you, that no longer serves the highest good of all, that no longer serves humanity or nature or the animal kingdoms or your family or ancestral lines. Anything that no longer serves you, you want to take a deep breath in, breathe in white light, and breathe out what no longer serves. And thank it. Thank what no longer serves you for being there to teach you. Thank what no longer serves you as you're sending it goodbye for teaching you how to recognize the good meal after having the bad one. And truly, I am grateful for every single one of you, for all of the assistance from all of our divisions, all of our dimensions, all of our higher selves, all of our angelics and our galactics and our beings, our elementals, our guides, our angels, our masters. Every part of ourselves is connected to Source, the Christ within, the Christ grid without. Everything that we are doing and coming in unity. I just want to thank everybody for your time, for your energy, for your effort, for your willingness to share, for your wisdom and your knowledge. And I want to bless every single one of you and everyone who's watched this far. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for doing your part. I love you all. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you for watching. Bye, everybody. Pause recording. Oh, it is recording. God. Want to see my eagle buddy? High five. High five. High five. Okay, try it again. And then finally, you'll get to see the best advice that we can give. Nope. I'm losing my bracelets, falling off as I'm talking. I'm like, ah. I'm sweaty. All right, that's going to be an edit. All right, so you're going to get to hear the best from the best, and the rest will just have to be. And finally, you'll get to hear. Ha, ha, ha. It's the second time I did that. Love you. Peace out. Enjoy the show. Dun, dun, dun.